more covalent compounds in methane carbon shares electrons with 4 hydrogen atoms. In ethene double bond between 2 carbon atoms. In methanol covalent, there are bonds between carbon, oxygen, and hydrogens. Covalent versus ionic bond. In this table, covalent and ionic bond is compared in terms of formation elements and bond strength. What types of elements form covalent bonds? Usually formed between non-metals. These atoms have high electronegativity. They cannot easily lose electrons like metals. So they share electrons to become stable. Practice dot and cross structures. Draw electron dot and cross diagrams for silane, phosphorus trichloride, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. Summary covalent bond. Covalent bonds involve mutual sharing of electrons. They allow atoms to achieve stable noble gas configurations. Represented by lines or electron dot slash cross diagrams. Found in many important molecules and organic compounds. Polar and nonpolar covalent bonds. Covalent bonds are formed by mutual sharing of electrons. Atoms involved try to achieve noble gas configuration. Covalent bonds can be either nonpolar, polar, Non-polar covalent bonds form between identical atoms. Shared pair of electrons is equally distributed. No charge separation occurs. Bond is purely covalent and non-polar in nature. Examples: hydrogen molecule, chlorine molecule. Electrons are exactly in the middle of both atoms. In these examples of hydrogen, chlorine, fluorine molecule, there is equal sharing of electrons, no pole formation. Polar covalent bonds formed between non-identical atoms. Shared electrons are not equally shared. Electrons are pulled more by the more electronegative atom. This results in partial charges, partial negative on more electronegative atom, partial positive on less electronegative atom. Bond is polar due to uneven distribution of charge. Example of polar covalent bond is hydrochloride. In hydrochloride, chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. Shared electrons are pulled towards chlorine. This creates a dipole. Bond is polar covalent. Another example is water molecule. In water molecule, each hydrogen shares electrons with oxygen. Oxygen is more electronegative. Shared electrons bend towards oxygen creates partial charges. In this table, key differences between polar and nonpolar compounds are written in terms of atoms involved, electronegativity, electron distribution, and dipole formation. Summary: polar and nonpolar covalent bonds. In nonpolar covalent bond, there is equal sharing of electrons, no charge separation. In polar covalent bond, there is unequal sharing of electrons, partial positive and negative charges formed. Think and answer. Why is HCl a polar covalent molecule while Cl2 is nonpolar? How does electronegativity affect bond polarity? What is a coordinate covalent bond? A type of covalent bond in which shared electron pair is donated by one atom. Only one atom acts as donor, provides lone pair. The other acts as acceptor, has empty orbital, represented by an arrow pointing from donor to acceptor.